Hi, welcome to Mamas and Mannies. I'm your host, Trina. This is a short form podcast for mamas that are looking for a quick burst of me time. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button and send this to another mama that is looking for some tips and tricks to streamline her life. And I already said share with another mama. Hit the like button. I'm trying to think and make sure I didn't forget anything. I think that's it. So those two things, hit the like button and share with another mama. Before we get into this week's Mama Time, we are going to go into a short and sweet, simple motivational quote. The quote says, set your mind on things above. Again, that quote is set your mind on things above. So this week's Mama Time is actually going to be my top 5 organizational tips, tricks, hacks, whatever you want to call them, to streamline your time at home as a mama. The first one is to create a centralized family calendar. So this may seem easier than you think. This may sound easier than it is to do. Creating a calendar is easy, but the thing is trying to keep up with everyone's schedule. What do you have on your schedule as a mama? What does your husband have on his schedule? What things do we have personal? What things do we have business, dealing with work? Then you have to mix in your kids. And I'm pretty sure if you have more than one child, it gets complicated, especially if they're at different schools, if they do different activities. It can really be a long list of things. So I do have a decentralized, I have a centralized family calendar. It's part of my command center, which I call it a command board because it's a board that's hanging on my wall. Those two are together. So that's tip 1 and 2. We'll talk about 1 right now. The centralized family calendar. So we actually have 2. Right now, since my girls are young, they don't use a digital calendar. They don't have a phone or anything like that. But me and my husband share a Google Calendar. The thing about the Google calendars is that if you put something on the calendar, you still have to invite the person. Even though you may put it on there, if you basically create the event, you still have to invite the other person. It may be on the calendar, even if the two of you share it. I have a bad habit of this. I don't know if my husband does the same thing or not, but sometimes I will not look at the calendar. I did start looking at the calendar once a week. I actually tapered off on that. I just thought about it when I said it. But what I do now when I fill out our physical centralized calendar, I look at the calendar for the month. Now, what I'm supposed to do is look at the calendar once a week. I do have alerts that pop up on my phone, like calendar alerts. But the thing about calendar alerts, sometimes you may swipe them out the way. So I still try to look at the calendar once a week, along with looking at it on my command center. So that's a great way to do it. And the physical calendar that I actually have things color coded. I'm green because my favorite color is green. My husband is blue. If we do something together as a family, or it includes more than one person, in the family, I make that black. And then the girls have red. And I really do the girls red because it's something for them. So it's either something dealing with school or they have some type of appointment. So that is really to catch my eye and say, okay, the girls actually have an appointment. So that means if it's during the week, we have to take additional steps, get my daughter out of school early or take her to school late, get somebody an outfit, something like that. So it needs additional attention. So that's a great tip for a physical centralized calendar. I gave a few tips. That's for a Gmail calendar. I don't know how Outlook or any other calendar systems work. Leave a comment below and let me know if you use another type of digital calendar. I know, of course, there's Outlook. Couldn't tell you anything else because I don't use it. But definitely let me know, leave a comment, and let us know what's your favorite, because I'm sure somewhere out there they may actually be better than a Google Calendar, because we still have hiccups. If you don't invite the other person to the event, which happens a lot in my household, then the person won't see it if they don't look at the calendar on a regular basis. And also, it will send an alert even if you don't get an invite, because I've had that happen to me. But the biggest thing is you really got to look at your calendar for a centralized family calendar to actually work. Number two, I mentioned earlier, is a command center. So you can Google command centers. Pinterest is a great place to look up command centers. I have the command center, like the big boards. It's kind of like three pieces. On the top right is that calendar that I mentioned. It's dry erase, so I fill in the month and the dates with our the numbers for the date as well as the activities for the date. And then on the left side, it is like a, what's this thing called? A big notepad that you can write on. And I actually put just a regular calendar there for birthdays. And then at the bottom is three little slots where you could put like mail and other little things there that you might want to grab. One slot has the dry erase markers as well as the eraser. Then I have like mail we want to keep up with. And then I have a miscellaneous. I think that one has like business cards. But command centers can get really complex. I don't want to say complicated because whatever works for your family works, but they can get really complex. A lot of them, like I mentioned, they also have chalkboard ones. That one's just as good as the dry erase. A filing system, hooks, cubbies, like a place for keys, coats. So they can have that as well. It just depends on how big your space is and how much you want to put there. Number three on the list is actually implement daily routines. Our morning routine, me and my husband rotate between taking my daughter to school. 3 days a week he takes her, and on the other 2 I actually take her. So the biggest thing is we actually do things a little bit different. Like I wake her up probably about 10 minutes before he does. He gets her dressed and brush her teeth and everything like that upstairs. I bring her downstairs, brush her teeth, get her dressed and everything like that downstairs. So those are some differences for her, I guess, between us. But the biggest thing is she gets up early and then gets dressed, go downstairs, basically to finish out everything. Like put on her shoes, coat, get her little book bag, things like that. And then we usually just toast some bread with like applesauce or something else like that for our bacon, some type of meat for breakfast. So that's our morning routine. And then one of us will stay back with my youngest daughter while she's sleeping. For afternoon, we don't really have an afternoon routine because it just depends on if we're out and about, what's going on. If I'm at work, of course, the afternoon routine is completely different because I'm not there, so I don't know what's going on. And then the evening routine, of course, that's about the same. My daughter gets home at about 3:45 or so. We do homework, change clothes, kind of get settled in, find out how the day was at school. We'll do all those things for about an hour. Then at 5 o'clock, she may still be doing homework, or they may be playing, doing little activities or crafts. And then at 5 o'clock, I try to start cooking dinner if we're at home, and hopefully have dinner cooked by 6. Depends on what the meal is. If it's a lot of cutting or something like that, of vegetables and things, it may take to 6. If it's not, I think today I was done by like 5:45. So it just really depends on what I'm cooking and what we're having. And then after we eat, I let them play for a little bit longer, and then they'll go up, take a bath, read a story. It's bedtime. So the morning and our evening routines are really set. I think the routines are probably about the same for evening, even for me and my husband, just like, homework, eat, and then get ready for bed. So those are just daily routines so my girls can know and kind of know what to expect as far as, okay, it's morning time. I'm going to get up, get ready, go to school. It's afternoon when I get home. I get to have a little snack, do some homework, play while mom's cooking or dad's cooking, and then it'll be time for bed. That kind of helps create visual schedules for them. So if they see me cooking, they know, oh, it's almost time to eat. Or if they hear me saying, okay, time to clean up, that means it's time to get into bed. Number 4 on the list is declutter regularly. And this is my top 5 list of mama organizational tips, tricks, and hacks to help streamline mama life. So declutter regularly. I feel like I'm an expert at this. You can ask my husband. He feels like I get rid of too much stuff, but sometimes I feel like I don't get rid of enough. I like to declutter my kids' toys. They probably notice, maybe or maybe not. I get rid of any toys from a Happy Meal. So plastic toys like that, I get rid of those probably about after 4 to 6 weeks because they kind of forget about them. The only Happy Meal toys I keep on a regular basis is the books from Chick-fil-A. If they have multiple books, I may toss them. I don't toss those. I'll donate those because they're multiples, just depending on what the book is. They each can get one, but if they both have two, it's no point. So I'll donate that somewhere. But I will declutter. If things are broken, I will throw it away because I'm like, it's broke. And then what we used to do when my oldest daughter was younger, we would rotate out half of her toys. So we would put up half of them. One time she got in trouble and she ended up getting her toys taken away. She lived her life and was fine when they were gone. So when I brought those toys back, I only brought back probably half of what was taken away from her. She didn't even miss the other stuff. And when I brought back the stuff that was taken away, she acted like it was new. So really, depending on your kids' ages, they're not really missing anything. The one thing I do keep a lot of is like crafting stuff, like crayons, markers, paper for them to draw with and things like that. I don't keep a lot of even coloring books. Anything, if it's a duplicate, I'll let my daughters each have one. But if it's more than 2, it gotta go. It's just too much. So I declutter regularly. If you need some extra tips on that, you can send me a message. I love to declutter. I get rid of stuff all the time. I donate stuff all the time. I just want it out my house. Top 5, number 5, utilize storage solutions. So you want to invest in storage solutions such as bins, baskets, and drawer organizers to keep items neatly stored and easily accessible. Five Below has great bins. I think they still have them. The bins I have in my daughter is like IKEA Billy. I don't think it's a Billy bookcase, but the bookcase that doesn't have a back. I do that one the long way instead of standing up tall. And then I put bins in there. So that's a great way to keep things there. All their books are in that. Another great thing, of course, like I mentioned, is bins. Bins hide a lot of stuff, and you can find that on Pinterest, TikTok, anywhere. You can find a lot of bin storage ideas. The biggest thing, especially when you have young kids, you want something that's actually going to hide their toys if someone comes over. That way they can put their things up quickly, but it's away so other people can't see it, and your house doesn't always look like a playground. So those are the top 5 tips. Number 1, create a centralized family calendar. 2, set up a command center. 3, implement daily routines. 4, declutter regularly and often. 5 utilize storage solutions. I love those 5 tips because those are things you can do quickly, like a digital family calendar you can do. A command center can be done really quickly, even if you don't want to go out and buy a big board. The board that I mentioned for our command center, it was like $5 or $10 from Ross. And it was that way because the tearaway notepad side was broken. So what I actually did, because it was taken off, I got a long, it's like, I think it's cornbread paper, but without lines, notepad from the Dollar Tree and put it up there. I actually don't use it. I think it says like, hello, welcome to the Goodwin home or something like that. So, you can find them really inexpensive. Five Below probably has one. Amazon, I'm sure, has plenty of any shape, size, anything you like. What I can do is include a few links in the episode notes so you can have some of these things and you can look them up to see what I'm talking about. Leave a comment below. Let me know what was your favorite top 5 organizational tip for mamas. Which one did I leave out that you use on a regular basis? And what's one that maybe one of your other mama friends uses that you can include? So leave a comment and let us know your favorite organizational tip. Like and share this with another mama. Hit the bell for notifications so you'll know when we come out with a new episode on Mondays. And as always, remember that me time is essential and it is never selfish. Have a great week, mamas.